Carnival Cruise Line recently retired one of the most iconic ships in its fleet, Carnival Fantasy. By 2020, Carnival Fantasy had become the oldest cruise ship across Carnival's entire fleet, at 30 years old. And as any seasoned cruiser knows, when a ship reaches that age, it's difficult to continue dry docking and updating it in a way that will be profitable. Regardless of the reason for Carnival Fantasy's eventual retirement and sale, there's no denying that this cruise ship made an impact on the industry. A brief history. The Carnival Fantasy cruise ship was floated out on December 9, 1988. But it was not completed until 1990, when it left its first home at the Helsinki New Shipyard in Finland. Compared to many of the newer cruise ships out there today, Carnival Fantasy was on the smaller side, with a gross tonnage of 70,367 GT and a length of 855 feet, with a capacity for 2,675 passengers and 920 crew members. Primarily serving the Caribbean, Carnival Fantasy operated out of the Port of Miami for the first few years of its life, before relocating to Port Canaveral in 1993. In 2006, Carnival Fantasy was moved to Louisiana and New Orleans, making it the first Carnival cruise ship to return to the region following Hurricane Katrina. At that point, the cruise ship began serving itineraries to Mexico. Alas, with its retirement, we will eventually see it disassembled and sold piece by piece. The Carnival Fantasy experience. Even in most recent years, some cruisers still preferred Carnival Fantasy to some of the newer ships among Carnival's fleet. For the simple fact that the ship was on the smaller side, it gave new cruisers an easy and simple introduction to the Carnival brand, and there was plenty of classic cruising fun and experiences to be had. Sure, some of the decor was a little outdated, harkening back to the 1980s era of cruising, but the experiences made up for that fact. In fact, many of the cruisers you could see on a Carnival Fantasy cruise were senior citizens, who probably were already pretty well familiarized with the world of cruising as it was several decades ago. In terms of amenities at its sale, Carnival Fantasy offered complimentary dining in 2 main dining rooms, at a traditional cruise ship buffet and at several dining options that were added during the handful of the ship's dry docking periods. Carnival Fantasy's entertainment options were pretty par for the course as well, at least compared to other cruise ships from that era. There was a 1,400-person theater and lounge, where you could expect not only shows, but also family-friendly interactive entertainment. Music-heavy, Vegas-style shows were popular. Daily fun was, again, more of that classic cruising entertainment led by enthusiastic staff members who encouraged all cruisers to get involved and compete in fun little games around the pool and in the more populated common areas. The ship didn't boast a lot of bars and lounges, so nighttime fun was a little sparse. Outdoor fun at the time of the ship's sale included a waterworks water park, 1 main pool and sun decks, as well as a mini golf course. What's next? Unfortunately, or maybe not so unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, the selling of Carnival Fantasy and Carnival Inspiration are just one of the many changes that Carnival Cruise Line has recently announced. Carnival is overall reducing its capacity, possibly in response to reduced demands, and is focusing on its newer ships. In all, we're seeing an evolution of the brand and its industry. Like yesteryear, Carnival will continue to innovate and introduce iconic cruise ships. Will you partake in the oceanic adventures? Let us know with a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. Swing by cruisehive.com too for tons of great cruise insights, guides, and more.